Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nabil Sahri. I'm the Vice President for Business Development of Sejumcom. It's a company, a leader in the smart metering area, and a founding member of the G3PLC Alliance. So, I'm here not to sell any product, but to testify as at least a user or promoter of this technology, of the power of this communication solution for your AMI deployments. So in any AMI deployment, you need anyhow to rely on a robust communication solution. It has to be simple to implement. It has to be very cost effective as well. And whether you like it or not, PLC is a kind of native technology for DSOs because you are using your private network, your own lines, but you need to have a solution which is able to tackle all the challenges that you will face in your network. So what is the G3PLC Alliance? In fact, actually it's an umbrella of companies, of consortium. I count 2 or 3 here already sitting in this audience. So it was created in 2011 to promote the G3PLC standard. And this was actually standardized in 2012 by the ITU. So it's an international standard which is open. Everyone can build it from, I would say, look on the specifications and build it by itself. So it's not licensed or anything. And the good thing also is that the Alliance is running a certification program, which means that once you develop your product, you can be sure that it will meet the standard by being interoperable with other suppliers, so that your customer is not linked to only one supplier, but can choose whoever he wants, as far as complies with the standard. And so the G3PLC is doing what we are doing today as well, is to promote this solution, because we want utilities around the world to learn from our experience, from the experience of our members, and to see that it can really be an accelerator for their MI projects. Last year I already presented here, so I will skip a lot of information which has already been said, but to highlight on what has progressed during 1 year. So in 1 year we became larger number, so there's more than 80 members today, or in 2017, and you can see that the members are all across the world. We have also members coming from the utility sector, from the chipset manufacturers. We have members also coming from the device vendors. So all these ecosystem is interacting together to improve the standard, first of all, and also to deploy it and to prove it on the field, like you will see in the last part of this presentation. Just to remind you what is the G3PLC protocol. In fact, it's a stack, so it includes the physical layer and the MAC layer. Then you can implement on top of it the 6LoWPAN with IPv6, so it's also open to IoT, so you can use it for IoT. Routing is optional. You can use different customers or different regions can use different routing mechanism. And then you have a set of applications like metering with DLMS COSEM or different applications. So it's really made to be open and to address different key applications, I would say, in this smart grid area. So this is also an upgrade of what we presented last year. So today, and this is a major point, in fact, the G3PLC is open to wider bandwidth. So you know that in Europe, where the technology started, we were working on a limited band we call Senelec A, which is reserved for the utilities. But today, we are working with partners in different parts of the world, but also in Europe, to make use of the rest of the available bandwidth to be sure that we can overcome any noise or any additional, I would say, difficulties in the network. So we are open to FCC, and we call it G3 FCC. So, and we are implementing or making this technology even more robust by implementing switching mechanism, for example, between bands when you face some issues in some area or some network or some grid in a portion of the bandwidth. So these are the certification labs we have. There are 2 labs, one in Europe and one in Asia, so TÜV and LAN. And you can apply at any of them to approve your device or your chipset if you are a chipset manufacturer. So we have also evolved from the metering only, I would say, application to many, many applications. So you can recognize here many of them, like railway, for example, is a new application for us. We are now using this, like you see, or our customers, or the customers are using it for implementing communication for signaling in their communication networks. And of course, the renewable integration, all the smart grid, I would say, applications can implement this solution. In terms of adoption, this is also a major move from last year. So you see that we are now closing over 20 million G3PLC products deployed on the field. So most of them are meters, but not only. There's 35 pilots around the world, so it's not working all in Europe. Now it's extending to Asia, it's extending to Middle East, to different environments, to Africa as well. So you can see a list of countries here who are strong adopters of this solution. France, of course, Croatia, Austria, Belgium, Dubai, Germany, and so on. And even in Asia, like Japan and Malaysia, for example. So I will give you some use cases to show the power of this solution and that it's really a real-world application today. So in Belgium, for example, they're using it with OS, not to do only metering, but also to monitor the street lighting. So they can command and measure the street lights using the same infrastructure, the AMI infrastructure for metering, but this means they can use excess bandwidth to use and to monitor these street lights. France is a major hotspot for G3PLC, as you probably know. Maybe you went to other talks in this conference. So I heard in China about 7 million deployment in one shot. In France, we have the same, because there's a big program which is going on by Enedis, the French DSO, to roll out 35 million of these nodes in a couple of years, 5 to 6 years. And they are really achieving this program in the right pace. And they are today have more than 8 million meters on the field, and all of them are using G3PLC. So again, this also ensures a big return on experience. So this means that the solution is proven. So you see the numbers, above 98% reads in one shot, 98% collection of data in a day. So it means that it's again a very robust and real-world application. This is the railway application which I was talking about, which is used by a company in Italy to manage all the signaling information. So it's a mission critical because railways, you know, you would like to avoid that the train gets into an accident with some other train or something. So this solution is used to monitor the communication between the lights for I would say the operation of the trains. Japan also is a major country adopting G3PLC. So you know that this has been officialized in 2013 by Japan, and today it is actually the PLC solution if the utility would like to deploy a power line communication solution for all the utilities. There are 10 of them over there, serving more than 80 million customers. So it means also that this solution has a great, I would say, future in this area. Malaysia is also adopting it. We are mentioning actually this country because it shows that it's not a very, I would say, developed country like in Europe or in Japan. They might have networks which are more difficult than other areas, but still the technology is performing very well, and TNB, which is a national operator, is deploying this now massively for their AMI rollout, which is going to happen in 5-6 years. So Germany is using this for different applications, more in the smart grid, also for meter reading, so I will go very fast on this. And lastly is South Africa. This could be also of interest here because you know that South Africa is a country implementing prepayment systems for their metering and using STS prepayment. So this means that also this kind of applications of prepayment can come on top of the G3PLCs. That G3PLC is very open to any kind, I would say, of metering applications, since in this country they implemented the STS on top of G3 and they're also using it in their deployment of smart meters. So that's all. So I hope I could convince you that G3PLC is making progress year after year, that it's now one of the leading solutions for deploying AMI networks. And if you have any questions, we have a booth outside, and you can come to join us or to ask any questions. Thank you very much.